Welcome, everyone. Would everyone please stand to recite the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome, everyone. Would everyone please take their seats? Thanks. On this day, Wednesday, December 12th, 2012, at 4 p.m., the regularly scheduled board meeting of the Chicago Park District is being held in the 8th floor boardroom of the Administration Building at 541 North Fairbanks Court, Chicago, Illinois. Will the Secretary take a roll call of the Commissioners?
Yes, sir. Commissioner Shalaby?
Here.
Commissioner Koldyke?
Here.
Commissioner Lavelle? Commissioner Salgado?
Here.
Commissioner Allen?
Here.
Vice President Armstrong? President Trobert?
Here.
Quorum is present. Let the record reflect that General Superintendent Michael Kelly and General Counsel Maria Garcia are also in attendance.
This meeting will please come to order. Item number 1, resolution honoring former Park District employees.
Do I have a copy of the resolution? Oh, okay. Okay. So, Commissioners, this is our a new tradition, maybe an old tradition that I want to rekindle, but it's a tradition nonetheless, and it's a simple gesture where we read into the record some acknowledgement for our employees that are set to retire over the last 6 months. I'll read the names and I'll read the resolution, but I have the pleasure of the list in front of me, but 33 years, 33 years, 30 years, 25 years, 28 years. I mean, these are special people. They've been with the Park District a long time, and I think this is just a small token of gratitude on our part for them for what they've done over the years. So with that, this is a resolution to the Board of Commissioners of the Chicago Park District presented by Michael P. Kelly, General Superintendent and CEO, on December 12, 2012. Whereas the Chicago Park District takes great pleasure and pride in recognizing its employees who have dedicated numerous years of service to the Park District and the City of Chicago. And whereas these employees have greatly contributed to the Park District's goals and exemplify the meaning of hard work, commitment, and passion the Park District and the City of Chicago seek in all of its civil servants. And whereas these unique individuals have provided invaluable services to park patrons and communities, serving in various positions which include attendants, administrative secretaries, engineers, instructors, management, recreation leaders, security, and various trades. And whereas their years of service are a testament to the positive relationship and environment the Park District fosters and provides its employees, then therefore, be it resolved that the General Superintendent and the Board of Commissioners extend their heartfelt gratitude to this exclusive group of employees for their years of dedication and commitment to the Chicago Park District and to the citizens of the City of Chicago, and sincerely wish them success, good health, and happiness as they enter the next chapter of their lives. Signed, Brian Traubert, President of the Board of Commissioners, Michael Kelly, General Superintendent and CEO. And before we give them duly applause, they'll each get a personalized resolution as well. And if I can, I'd like to read their names and then invite anyone up who would like to say a few words. The employees, I'm going to read their years too, why not? Frederick Morish, 24 years. Julianne Sloyan, 16 years. Margaret Butkus, 11 years. Joe Dudek, 33 years. John Rizzo, 33 years. Joseph Rill, 30 years. Jesse Macias, 17 years. Melinda Malloy, 14 years. Darnell Fletcher, 33 years. Manuel Olbera, 28 years. Penny Williams, 16 years. Jose Suarez, 15 years. Rose Paredes, 12 years. Marcia Solomon, 13 years. John Piazza, 16 years. Michael Kozik, 35 years. Barb McGowan, 15 years. Robert Chen, 33 years. Leonard DeSalvo, 31 years. John Casano, 32 years. Daniel DiNapoli, 31 years. Patricia Milas, 34 years. Edmund O'Connell, 29 years. And Joseph Twarski, 29 years. And at this time, I'd like to offer the mic to anyone of the retirees or managers that would like to say a few words on their behalf. Oh, you can do that. Go ahead.
Commissioners, Pat LeVar, Chief Operating Officer, Chicago Park District. I could talk about John Casano or Trish or Danny or the landscape staff, but Adam wants to say kind words about them. Mike Kozik was a chief engineer, 35 years, who's retiring. Terrific in what he's done here. Leonard DeSalvo, who was a carpenter, 30-plus years. Bobby Chin and Jimmy Rizzo, who are tractor engineers who aren't here, 30-plus years. But I want to talk about Ed O'Connell. Eddie, why don't you come up?
While Ed's walking up, I'd like to insert myself for 2 seconds. I was out at they had a party for Ed and Mike Kozik on Saturday, and there was hundreds of people there. And that's a tribute. I'm going to pick your brain after this meeting because as a boss, to get that many people to show up is really a tribute to you because it's tough. And you know, people were genuinely happy for you, happy for Mike, and happy to be there. And that was a special day Saturday.
Not to embarrass Eddie, but Ed O'Connell was a foreman of plumbers, 29 years, 30 years. But his father was also a foreman for the Chicago Park District, and combined it was 59. Your dad was 30 years here? 30. So 60-plus years between the O'Connell family working for the Chicago Park District. We had a hard time a couple years ago, maybe 4 years ago now. Our general foreman, Phil Gavin, passed away. Unexpectedly, and with Eddie and some of the other guys in the shop, they kind of held it together. Still doing the people's business in the Park District with a heavy heart. Eddie has been, as the young buck at the running trades, Eddie was always one of the guys that I always went to, said, "Hey Ed, I got this great idea. What do you think?" Kid, we tried that in 1989 and it didn't work, but this is how we can make it work. And for your friendship and your advice, I appreciate it. And on a side note, if I'm allowed, you can slap me. Eddie used to be 260 pounds? About 260 pounds, and in this whole wellness initiative that we're all hearing about in the papers and the mayor's initiative and the Park District mission and wellness, how many marathons? 9 marathons, triathlete. He's an example. He's one of the reasons I did my first triathlon, which I ran into him when I was in the chute, was one of the motivations. I never told that to him, but if Eddie could do it, I thought I could do it. And thank you for all the years, for your friendship, and wish you the best of luck, and don't be a stranger.
I'd like to thank everybody at the Chicago Park District for everything I had all my life. This has been a great job. It's been nothing but the blessing for me. If anybody needs me for anything, I'm a phone call away. I'm a Southsider. I'll come north. It doesn't make any difference. Just give me a call if you need it. While I still have a little bit of a brain anyway, to help anybody out, just don't hesitate to give me a call, and I thank you.
Thanks, Ed.
Adam Schwerner, Director of the Department of Natural Resources. And so these guys here, John, Trish, and Danny, together, 90-something years? And so we're a big department. We're 300 people, full-time people. And to make a family happen out of that group is tough. But all of these people made the family happen. And I think one wonders when one leaves this place after so many years if one's leaving a legacy, if what they have done over those years makes a difference long term. And all of these people, so John has made a community of staff. Trish has made a community of staff, and Danny has made a community of staff. Danny managing 75,000 trees, Trish managing all of us, managing so that the contracts are correct when they're created, so that the staff in the field get what they need, and John, day to day, working with me to make a family out of the staff. So yes, your legacy is going to stay here. You'll continue to be impactful, and thank you.
John, you were never shy about calling me on the weekends and giving me your opinion on various things. Now all of a sudden you're
I'm not a very eloquent speaker, as you people are. I'm a pretty straightforward guy. I really appreciate this. It's really nice. I was proud to work here. Thanks.
Thanks, John.
Boy, I'm usually the one who's always crying. I have had a great time at the Park District. I love my job, and I don't really want to leave, but I feel that something else is calling me at this time. And I love the way the parks look. The lakefront it's morphed, and I'm taking your word, Adam. It's morphed into something that I'm going to miss every single day driving Lakeshore Drive. It's a beautiful place, and I thank everybody, and I thank Adam because he's been really an inspiration and a mentor to me personally. So thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Art Richardson. I'm the Central Region Manager, and I'm here today to talk briefly about the time that I've spent working with Barbara McGowan on the west side of Chicago. Barbara served as the manager of the Columbus Park Refectory for the past 15 years, and I've been working with her for the past 8 years, and over that period of time, I've got a chance to see her in action. There are frequent times when you see people who come from the community that they work in where they're willing to give that extra bit to take it that extra yard to make sure that everything gets done, even when compensation isn't a consideration. And Barbara McGowan is one of those types of people. So I'm going to keep it short and sweet because there truly aren't words that can describe what she's meant to the Chicago Park District. But I'd just like to take this opportunity to bring her up here, hand this to her directly, and ask her if she'd like to say a few words.
Thank you so much. You're welcome. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I am one of those people that had the privilege of working in the community where I lived. And it meant a lot to me to be able to do that. And it helped me to give 200%. I'm not going to say what the other gentleman said, call me if you need me, because I've been getting those calls already as late as today. But I'm always available to assist in any way I can. I enjoyed doing what I did, and I enjoyed working with people, because if you don't, you're in the wrong business if you work for the Park District. So thank you so much for this recognition. I appreciate it. May God bless all of you, and have a good evening.
Thank you. All right. Can we do a picture? Yes.
Somebody's going to have the tall ones in the bag.
Yeah, why don't we double stack here?
In front. Yeah. It's like the old school coaches. Yeah, shorty up in front. I'm not getting on my knees.
Thank you all.
I am going to call back. move to accept the resolution.
Second.
Will the Secretary take a roll call of the Commissioners?
Commissioner Shalaby?
Aye.
Commissioner Coldyke?
Aye.
Commissioner Salgado?
Aye.
Commissioner Allen?
Aye.
President Trobert?
Aye.
Motion carried and the matter is adopted.
Item number 2, approval of the meeting minutes from the regular meeting held on November 14th, 2012. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
If no objection, we'll apply the last favorable roll call vote from the prior matter to this matter.
Motion carried and the matter is adopted.
Next on the agenda is the People in the Parks section. Will the Secretary please call the names of those who have signed up to speak?
We ask that you please limit your comments to 2 minutes. Our first 3 speakers are Anthony Eniquez, Bill Sontag, and George Blakemore.
Good afternoon, Board President, Mike Kelly, CEO, and the rest of the board. Usually I'm always here about the playground and stuff, and I had some pertinent questions that I wanted to ask, but Rob Raymond was kind enough to speak to me beforehand, and we got everything straightened out. I would just like to get the playground back on the fast track through no fault of the Chicago Park District. We had a couple of meetings scheduled for early October, but because the elections were coming up, our alderman wasn't able to make the meetings, so it kept falling back and back and back. So I really don't fault the Park District why we're being delayed, but I would certainly like to see the playground put back on a fast track if it possibly can, and I'd like to look at the all the concepts of the plan, but I'm sure Rob Raymond will be looking into that. Outside of that, I thank you for all your support during the year. I've been coming here for a long time and asking for this, asking for that, but I don't try to harass the Park District. I'm working with the Park District in partnership, and everything that the Advisory Council at Tui Park has done has been on the positive side. And again, I thank you all for your cooperation, and I wish all you guys happy holidays.
Thank you, Tony. Happy holiday.
Can't Tracy, you can add my last minute on for the next time.
Hi, I have some paper, or a couple of...
Thank you.
Wow, what a great night to be here. It's good to see those people who worked so hard through the years. I had a great time growing up in all the parks with them guys working. My name's Bill Sontag. I'm the new board chair of the Mondog Dog Friendly Area, aka Montrose Dog Beach. I love dogs. I love the beach. I love my city. We got people coming all over. Oprah just came and did a 3-minute dog segment of how dogs and the beach make you feel a lot better about life. We like to take care of the beach, and we like to take care of our neighbors of the beach, and we've been around for over 10 years. Hurricane Sandy, well, the year 2011 to 2012, we had some massive winds change the beach, and Hurricane Sandy just put the icing on the cake and buried our fences. And it's in a situation where we're going to need special kind of heavy equipment because the rocks that go down to the water, I have no idea how we're going to do it, but we would, as a group and a community organization, we would work together to figure out how to do this. And in addition, the lake has gone down, so the fence that divides the dog beach from Montrose Beach proper has now about 160 feet of openness, so the dogs can, if they're not accompanied well, go to bother the people and lick off their suntan lotion. Anyways, also,
30 seconds remaining.
Oh, really? The final, we need special attention to with the heavy equipment, and I guess you could read what I wrote in the proposal.
Bill, this is Pat LeVar, Chief Operating Officer.
Hello.
If you don't mind talking to him in the back, we'll get this all squared away.
Okay, cool. Thank you
Okay.
very much. Thanks for your time. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Blakemore?
Good afternoon to the citizens of Chicago, to the directors here on the board, Superintendent Kelly. Chicago has great parks, but I have a vision and a mission to make Chicago parks even greater and to hire citizens of this great city. I believe that privatization is negative. We want our parks back. We want our people working in the parks. You got expertise here, Lonzo, and all you good employees. And maybe you can set up a apprentice program. It's something that the park can't do. I believe that you can even go to the extent of building your parks, brick by brick, the field houses, the artificial turf, everything with park employees. No, a moratorium on privatization. Privatization creates corruption. I trust you, board members. And it used to be a time when you see the landscapers, people picking up the paper and everything. These was park employees.
30 seconds remaining.
These was park people. Now everything is being privatized out, and it's not good. So again, my strategic plan for the park, to give the parks back to the park employees, give the park back to you board members, and privatization, political hacks, elected officials,
Please make your
leave
closing
our
remarks.
parks alone and let us operate our parks, and our people are qualified, certified, and knowledgeable to run these parks and to make our parks greater parks
have exceeded your 2 minutes.
without privatization. It's an evil counsel when you privatize the parks out, and it doesn't benefit the citizens of this great city. So our parks are good, but they can be better without privatization. And I would like to wish all of you happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year's, and Happy Kwanzaa, and may God bless all of you. And remember, we have people that can run the park without bringing carpet into our parks. So Mr. Blakemore is telling you two young lady, next year you have your timer up here where you can time every individual where it won't be no discretion on who you and the time. You got the money. Let us do it. It's our taxpayer money. And God bless you, young lady.
God bless you too.
Happy holidays. And Cantrice, thank you for your continued good work.
Our last two speakers are Bobby Townsend and Mark Carroll.
Okay. My name is Bobby Townsend. You have a flyer from the community and the dedication of Dr. Hattie K. Williams and Miss Izora Davis. I won't go into details. We lost Diet Recreation Center because Eric Fisher and Cordell Hopkins didn't follow through. I talked to the principal, who is Mr. Campbell, after school. Nobody's followed through for the community. We didn't know that Park District didn't have Diet listed as being down. Diet has been up since July 21st. So now I'm hitting you with Soul. Soul is Southside Organized Unified Liberation. We want a $20 million field house, Class 1, at 35th and Cottage Grove, which includes an indoor pool, 2 basketball courts, meeting room, an arts room, a room for seniors. Also, Officer Gathering from CAPS, she said, call her. The number is 773-441-6423. She's on the gang and the teenagers. She said the community or the builders are building more houses. These kids need recreation. If you read the memo from Andrew Light,
30
the Black
seconds remaining.
the Black Catholics in Brownsville, we have 15 churches sign off. I'm asking everybody in Brownsville, all over the city, join with us. We're losing our children. We are losing our children, and this is the generation of tomorrow. You can't take it with you. You got to give it up. We're also asking
Please make your closing remarks.
organizations in the area to donate. We are not asking Park District to get the $20 million because we know you broke. But we're asking organizations to give the money. But call Principal Campbell. We've lost Diet. Eric Fisher never did call me back.
You exceeded your 2 minutes.
Ms. Townsend, I would say, though, if you want to continue the conversation.
I don't want to go in the back. I want it all on record.
Okay.
Okay, I spoke to Daphne. Daphne is good. Daphne Johnson. She's great.
Thank you.
So we coming to your neighborhood, Central Region, for this Class A1 here.
There are no further speakers.
Thank you.
There are no further. Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me. I'm sorry,
one
Mark.
more name, yeah.
How are you?
What's going on? How you doing? I'm Mark Carroll, and I work with a group called the Rowing Group, and I just prioritize rowing here in Chicago. And so I just wanted to come by and say this is 1 year since I first came to the Park District Board meeting for people in the parks trying to talk about rowing, and I think things are going well. I think there needs to be some transparency and more openness, if you will, with the people about the boathouses. There's a great opportunity coming up on February 23rd. There's an indoor rowing race at Chicago State University, and there is a very large group of rowers from all over the Midwest, Chicago. I'd like to have the Park District, if you would like, to go there and present the boathouses, to have easels and setups and talk to people about it. I already spoke to folks in the Park District about it. Joey Harris I spoke with already, but I figured I'd let you guys know. Also show up if you like as well. It's a great event. It's all day. I help run the event with some old teammates of mine from high school, and so it's that continuation of the sport, advocating for it. So it's a great opportunity to do that. And also I think in the future it'd be great in 2013 and the next year to have some sort of a master plan, if you will. So we got these great boathouses being built. We also have different places like the Lagoon at Lincoln Park. That's a Park District facility that might not be as used as well as it could be. So after 2014, you'll have 4 boathouses, but also you have the one you already have, 5 boathouses. So I think it'd be the idea to have some sort of a plan to make sure that each of those places are utilized as best they can with the same kind of scrutiny, because that place down at the Lagoon is a beautiful site, built in 1908. Club was founded in 1910. It's older than
30 seconds remaining.
Also people like me are in this for the long haul. We're not in this just for a short bit. So we're, different products, but I'm a product of the rowing community in Chicago. So we're in this for the long haul. All right.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Mark.
Now there are no further.
Under presentations from the departments, there is nothing to present. Next on the agenda is the report from the Committee on Capital Improvements.
Committee on Capital Improvements met from December 12, 2012 to consider matters referred from November 15th to December 12th, and hereby recommends that its report be adopted. Item number 1, authorization to enter into a contract for Columbus Park Artificial Turf Fields. Item 2, authorization to enter into agreement for chilled water service for Maggie Daly Park. Both these items were adopted. That concludes the report of the Committee on Capital Improvements, and I move for its adoption.
Second.
Will the Secretary take a roll call of the Commissioners?
Yes, sir. Commissioner Shalaby?
Aye.
Commissioner Koldyke?
Aye.
Commissioner Salgado?
Aye.
Commissioner Allen?
Aye.
President Robert?
Aye.
Motion carried and the report is adopted.
Next on the agenda is the report from the Committee of the Whole. The Committee of the Whole met this morning in executive session to consider various matters appropriately discussed in executive session pursuant to Illinois Open Meetings Act 5 ILCS 120, Section 2, subsection C12. The committee hereby submits this report and recommends that it be adopted. The Board of Commissioners approved the settlement of the workers' compensation claim of Martin Tate v. Chicago Park District in the amount of $162,279.84. That concludes the report on the Committee of the Whole, and I move for its adoption. If no objection, we'll apply the last favorable roll call vote from the prior matter to this matter.
Motion carried and the report is adopted.
Under unfinished business, nothing was presented for consideration. Under new business, we have item number 7 from the Director of Budget and Management, 2013 Annual Appropriation Ordinance and Budget Recommendation.
Good afternoon, Board President, Commissioners, Superintendent. Juliet Azimi, Director of Budget and Management, recommending the adoption of the Annual Appropriation Ordinance for fiscal year 2013, along with the establishment of fund balance reserves for the fiscal year. Prior to the beginning of the ensuing fiscal year, which commences on January 1st, 2013, the Board of Commissioners must adopt an appropriation ordinance that appropriates such sums of money as may be required to meet all necessary expenditures during the following fiscal year. The 2013 budget appropriation submitted for adoption includes the proposed fiscal program of estimated revenues, estimated expenditures, and proposed allotments. It is a $410.9 million spending plan, which is less than 1% higher than the 2012 budget, and among other things, it holds the line on property taxes, as well as program, room rental, and harbor fees. It supports the Park District's core mission and strategic plan, particularly as it relates to putting children first. It invests in marketing, technology, and staff development, and it's a financially responsible plan that contains structural budget changes and safeguards in terms of our reserves. As you heard last week, at the public hearing, the 2013 budget has the support of the Civic Federation and Friends of the Parks and has received many positive comments. I'm happy to take any questions you might have.
While you're thinking of your questions, let me take this opportunity to just to remind the board that this is probably, if you're a student of government, the most important vote of any single ordinance we do year in, year out. And the process that we undergo is very unique. We go through countless community meetings at the field house and at the area level, and it's very transparent and a lot of discussion. And it starts with the budget director, and I want to thank Juliet, who we stole from the city about a year ago, and it was a loss to the city, and it was our gain. Juliet, her team, Raquel. I want to thank Tanya Anthony for her help as the former budget director, and I certainly want to thank Steve Hughes, the chief financial officer, for his leadership and guidance as well. And lastly, I want to thank, for the record, all the directors, assistant directors, and all the team at Chicago Park District, because putting these budgets together is never easy. And it's actually very difficult. These are still tough fiscal times. We still face a looming pension crisis that we're going to have to deal with. But I wouldn't have it any other way than having Juliet, Steve Hughes, and the rest of the team by my side as we move forward in 2013. So thank you.
Thank you.
Mike, I'd like to congratulate you and your staff on this process. I think the public should realize that if there's not robust questioning from us at this moment, it's only because the questioning has been robust for the last 6 months as we've gone through this process, not only at the community meeting level, but lots of meetings. You're living up to your commitment to eliminate the structural deficit, the emphasis of this budget. Priorities established by budgets, and it refers to our strategic plan to put children first. And so there's been a lot of effort on your staff and on our board's part looking at this very hard, including last week's public budget hearing. So this is the culmination of a long process. With all that said, I would invite any commissioners that have any comments or questions to please voice them. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. I just want to echo that and thank the superintendent and the entire staff. They not only held the line on taxes, but new programs are coming out, as well as even the harbors got a reprieve this year. So I think you're doing a great job, and in light of the hard work we had, especially during the school strike and making the parks open, and I really like the idea of our children first, but it's really our people first, the people of the city of Chicago, and looking forward to another good year, and thank you for this wonderful budget without raising taxes.
I move to approve the matter.
Second.
Will the secretary take a roll call of the commissioners?
Commissioner Shallery?
Aye.
Commissioner Koldyke?
Aye.
Commissioner Salgado?
Aye.
Commissioner Allen?
Aye.
President Traubert?
Aye.
Motion carried, and the matter is adopted.
Item number 8 from the Director of Budget and Management, ordinance authorizing the transfer of operating funds.
Thank you. Again, Juliet Azimi, Director of Budget and Management. recommending the authorization of the transfer of funds in the amount of $4,301,951.16 from the Corporate Fund Personnel Services account class to the Corporate Fund Contractual Services account class. Pursuant to the budget ordinance appropriating the 2012 budget, board approval is required for transfers among appropriations. The district's contractual services account class is expected to exceed budgeted levels by the amount that I just specified. This is primarily due to a change in accounting practice by SMG, our privatized contractor, rather than a cost overrun. It's recommended that a transfer be made from the personnel services account class to the contractual service account class so as not to increase the overall budget amount appropriated, which was $407.5 million. This is generally, it's a housekeeping item. It's last year the board did a similar transfer, but it was after the 2012 budget had been passed, so it wasn't corrected in that budget. It has been corrected in the 2013 budget, though. I'm happy to take any questions.
So moved.
If there are no questions, I would second.
If no objection, we'll apply the last favorable roll call vote from the prior matter to this matter.
Motion carried, and the matter is adopted.
Item number 9,
Thank
from
you.
Director of Purchasing, authorization to resell surplus personal property.
President Traubert, Commissioners, General Superintendent, and CEO Kelly, good afternoon. My name is Rafi Sarafi, and I'm the Director of Purchasing. I'm here today to recommend that the Board approve the auction of surplus personal property in the Chicago Park District's inventory that is no longer required for operational purposes and may have resale value. Specifically, there are 3 harbor tenders that have been used in the operation of the harbors, approximately 175 pieces of concession equipment that has been used at Soldier Field, and 460 lockers, all of which for the CPD's operational purposes have exceeded their useful life. After consulting with our management contractors, the CPD has estimated the aggregate value of the harbor tenders, concession equipment, and lockers to be between $150,000 and $200,000. To achieve the maximum resale value, it is recommended that the equipment be sold by a public auction, like the City of Chicago does. Moreover, auctioning the equipment through an online service such as eBay, which is very well known, would generate the widest interest in the resale and increase the likelihood of reaching the estimated resale value. Therefore, pursuant to Chapter 10, Section F, Sub 2, Sub B of the Code of the Chicago Park District, it is recommended that the Board of Commissioners approve the public auction of the harbor tenders, concession equipment, and lockers. Are there any questions?
Rafi, when you do something like this, do you have a guaranteed minimum?
This is the first time we'll be doing it, and so we can consult internally still before we go live on eBay, and we can determine what our minimum, if we want to do a minimum. So that's a strategy we can arrive at before we go live.
And when you say you were selling this stuff because they've reached their end of their...
For our purposes, they've no longer have useful operational purposes for us, but to someone there still might be a need. So we want to let the marketplace speak to us.
Rafi, like the lockers you're speaking of, we're not replacing them with new lockers.
No, actually we have these 460 lockers are part of, they were spec'd out when the King Center was initially built. And these lockers are manufactured in Germany. And over the years, when a key is lost for these lockers or the locking mechanism broke, it was very expensive to replace either the key itself, which would cost about $27 a key, or the mechanism. If it was broken, it was about $47 per mechanism. And then the size of the lockers when they were spec'd out were very small, much like the safety deposit box. So over the years, they were gradually replaced. So we've accumulated 460 of these original lockers. And we've replaced them with, and over the years, they've been replaced with new lockers that are manufactured in the U.S. And also the replacement parts are much less expensive for our budget. So we feel that someone out there in this world through eBay might have an interest in some or all these lockers.
Are those guys that bought the lockers from Germany gone?
I don't know if they're auf Wiedersehen, but
I think Woodrow Wilson was president when we bought these.
Okay, so where are we with this, guys?
So moved.
Second.
If no objection, we'll apply the last favorable roll call vote from the prior matter to this matter.
Motion carried and the matter is adopted.
Item number 10, from the Director of Planning, Construction Facilities, authorization to enter into an intergovernmental agreement with the City of Chicago for rodent control. Rob Raymond.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Rob Raymond, and I'd like to recommend the authorization of an intergovernmental agreement with the City of Chicago, Department of Streets and Sanitation, to allow the department to perform rodent abatement services within the Park District system. In exchange for the performance of such services, the Park District agrees to provide a reimbursement amount not to exceed $457,806 annually. The agreement term is 5 years with one additional 2-year extension option, and terminable at any point upon 90 days notice by either party. The annual appropriation represents labor, materials, equipment, and vehicle costs for two two-person crews consisting of a truck driver, laborer, exclusively dedicated to performing road abatement services district-wide for the Park District.
How are we doing it today?
We're currently going through this through Streets and Sand.
We've been doing it this way for
about
20
5 years.
5 years, only.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Prior to that, we were going through a private service, and I think our costs were around $600,000 annually. After we went with the city contract, they dropped, and so it's just a continuation of what we've been doing.
So moved.
Second.
If no objection, we'll apply the last favorable roll call vote from the prior matter to this matter.
Motion carried and the matter is adopted.
That concludes the board meeting. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. The board meeting is now adjourned.